Melbourne?
Not bad. I mean, we've broken the world record for the longest lockdown in human history.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're trying. We're running right behind you, I think.
Right.
We thought we had it all sorted, but of course we didn't, and now we're all locked down as well.
Well, I think for what it's worth, the lockdowns seem to have had a pretty positive impact on the lack of fatalities from COVID. But I think the world has kind of taught us that getting everyone double vaxxed is probably the best shot at kind of normalcy, because you can't really protect yourself from this thing.
I think there's been a sea change in the way people in general are thinking about it. Just happened over the last week over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now it's like, trying to, I don't know what it's like in New Zealand, but it's been quite difficult to get the vaccine. Well,
nobody was that interested in it here. And so because we were free and clear as far as we thought for quite a while last year. So it was like, okay, well, we're good. I'll get the vaccine when and if it arrives, and nobody was in any big hurry. And then suddenly the variant showed up, and now we're all rushing around. I've got mine. I'm double vaxxed.
What'd you get?
The Pfizer, I believe it is.
Yeah, same.
I think we all have it here.
Did it knock you around a bit, or?
No, all I got was I woke up the next morning and it felt like somebody had mildly punched my arm, and then that was it. But everybody's different.
Yeah, I mean, my experience, both times I was just flat for a week. I had no motivation. I just, I was like, what's wrong with me? It was like depression, but I wasn't depressed. I couldn't do anything.
Right. Well, that kind of shows, because the anti-vaxxers are like, oh, your immune system will save you and you don't have to worry about this. And they've got all, and maybe that's true for some people, but the majority of the people need the vaccination and they need to protect themselves and everybody around.
Well, I'm pretty sure that nobody who's been vaccinated twice has died from COVID. I'm pretty sure or if there has been, it's been like one or two. Not right.
It's a very minor percentage if there is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody loves to spout off, numbers that they have no basis in fact, and they'll say things that you're like, what? But there you go. That's apparently human nature these days.
Well, that's it. That's the internet wrapped up in a nutshell, isn't it?
I'm afraid so. So in the middle of all this, you're putting out a record. You're doing more than putting out a record. Jesus.
Yeah.
So we got this Vengeance project. It's like a multimedia 10-year in the making thing. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the perfect summary. It's this Project Vengeance been 10 years in the making.
Are we done?
That's it. Good chat. It was, it's been a mission for a long time to kind of, I guess, build the foundation of this multimedia kind of project. And, and it's, a lot of things are finally coming to fruition, and COVID was influential in the sense that, we tackled some things that we just probably wouldn't have been able to hadn't, we not had kind of 2 years of
sitting around,
sitting around. Exactly. So, I mean, I think it's a concurrent, bunch of things kind of with different timelines, all reaching this one junction point, which happens to be now.
Right. So there's the album, there's like a book. What?
Yeah.
Is there a video game? You tell me what there is.
We've got this. So this is a
man. That's a book.
It's a book. This is The Wyvern and the Wolf.
Right.
And then when you get to the end of it, you realize there's another book. So there's two. And this has taken 5 years. Nick Snelling is the author of this, and the kind of genesis or the seed of the concept was based on a story that I'd written in 2007, and then he's just ran with it, and it's become his.
So how did he connect with you?
Well, I believe it or not, I met him because he was a music journalist, and I actually really thought he had a way with words, like with his reviews, So when we needed to get some bio work done or whatever, we'd go to him because he was just good at it. And we sort of had a lot of mutual friends, and we became friends. And then I was putting together a pitch Bible for an animated series, 12-Foot Ninja.
Right.
And I wanted his help with like the episodic synopses, and he sort of started writing and he never stopped.
Right.
And then now we've got these epic fantasy fiction works, which are, really getting a lot of critical sort of acclaim as just, really good writing, which is fantastic for both of us. And then, because like this book is all about the protagonist Kiyoshi, who is the 12-foot ninja, but the 12-foot ninja concept, I don't know what there's probably a more articulate and I guess better way to explain. The 12-foot ninja doesn't call himself the 12-foot ninja. Right. He's Kiyoshi, so it's kind of like that, that Superman thing. Superman didn't come out saying, I'm Superman. I believe. Yeah. So it's sort of like a lowly observer's generalized description.
Gotcha.
It's really about this Kiyoshi fella. And that whole book and the next one kind of trace his kind of ascent from like being basically a toddler right through to, being a young adult. So I wrote the graphic novel that kind of jumps ahead in time when he's sort of established as a 12-foot ninja, and he goes on an adventure, and you kind of get a alternate version of the events. So this is, and it's more like, it sort of has more of a film, like cinematic kind of look to it. Have you been sent the stuff?
I have been sent some stuff. I've listened to the album, and I've watched a few videos. So yeah, that's stuff.
Yeah. And then that ties into another comic that I did, which is inside that graphic novel.
Yep.
And then I made a video game to launch the first single, which came about because we shot a whole clip on a green screen, and I drew all these assets and thought, I'm on the way to a game. So yeah, it's been a weirdly productive time. I guess I'm just throwing everything I possibly can at this release and seeing what sticks.
Very cool. So for folks, is it possible to separate the music from the video, from the game, from the book? Do you recommend that everybody kind of just immerse themselves fully in it, or what?
Yeah, I don't think it's I wouldn't call it a concept that's exclusive. Like sometimes when you have concepts, like you need to know the context in order to understand what the hell's going on.
Yep.
The music, I look at it kind of like that many worlds interpretation. It's not like they're all reliant or symbiotic to each other. They happen again. Like I think I probably said it better before. There's like concurrent streams that all intersect and meet. Right. That's kind of what this is. So it's really like choose your own adventure for listeners. They can either just check out the album and listen to it and enjoy it, or if they want to kind of delve deeper into what this world is, the deep end just keeps going.
Gotcha. So the music, where and when was that recorded? Was it pre-lockdown, during COVID, blah, blah, blah?
Well, the youngest songs are about 14 months old, and I think the oldest songs are about 2 years old. So it's been the most unnatural thing that I've ever experienced.
Why is that?
To make just to make something and then not release it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of like, it's just, I think it's the most unnatural thing a creative person can do. It's like you make something and then you just put it away. Like,
right.
Really, really weird.
So were you doing other creative things after that? And then was it you're worried about it getting pushed aside?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess the gap after the album was what we filled in with, I tackled the game, and the graphic novel was in there, and the music videos, we spent a long time working on them. Probably more time than we've ever spent on videos, because we had the time to do it.
And how involved are you in the making of the videos?
Well, I write and direct.
That's pretty involved.
And produce.
There you go.
Yeah. And I mean, Ben Davies is one of my mates, and he was shooting and editing and doing a lot of visual effects, and we kind of tag team. He's a unique fella, and we've kind of been doing a bunch of stuff together. But we shot the one with Tatiana from Ginger. It was across 3 years in 3 different countries. So that middle part of that song, that clip in Finland, we did with a whole other production company. And that was the first time I haven't been kind of, right front and I spent most of the time in the spa eating Finnish lollies. Like that
wise move.
I can't fight, I can't hide everywhere that I go. You're the devil in my blood. Over and out. You call me. I'm not afraid. Over and out. You call me.
Yeah, that was the best clip I've ever been a part of because I didn't have to do anything. So yeah, but I'm pretty involved with it, and I think it's the band kind of trusts my judgment now, because there's a bit of a thing with our music videos.
Yes. Yeah. So the track with Tatiana is Over and Out, which is near the end of the record, and so I assume that the running order is important. That tracks have to follow it in order to be listened to and referred to. But how did you get Tatiana? What was her? How did you get her roped in on this?
Yeah, good question. We met Ginger in Ukraine, and we were playing in Ukraine and Russia, and they were just really lovely people. And at that stage, they hadn't really gotten out of Ukraine. They were just this sort of hidden gem,
right?
And we watched them, and formidable band. And I mean, Tatiana come out doing that sort of vocal stuff that I don't think I've ever seen before. And yeah, I think it's sort of, we watched Ginger just explode on the international, like after they put that Pisces video out and everyone saw what Tatiana could do, they kind of took off, and they're very hardworking. Like they just tour relentlessly. And we had this song Over and Out, and it was lacking a bit of urgency because Nick the vocalist is a baritone, so his voice is quite low, and we felt like we needed this higher voice, and we thought, why don't we get a female singer? And then Tati just came up straight away. So
cool.
And because there's a bit of history, and Ginger cited Ninja as an influence at one point.
Nice.
So she was like, yep, that'll be rad, and off we go.
I love the video. I was just wondering if Vegemite was kind of sponsoring it or not. I mean,
well, I sent it to Vegemite before it was released, and I was like, am I going to get sued? Is this okay? And they're like, it's hilarious, but just stay away from us. So yeah, but I mean, I think they appreciate where it's a homage to Vegemite, because we all love Vegemite. But I mean, anyone who's anyone the uninitiated doesn't, they often don't understand Vegemite.
Well, it's tough for me. You can probably tell I'm an American accent.
Yeah,
and I moved here, 25 years ago, and it's a taste that I have not developed yet.
Okay,
but it's
a weird
my
thing.
Mind open.
I have seen Americans put it on bread like it's Nutella.
Right.
And that is a big mistake. If you're expecting chocolate,
whoa,
you get that, it's like, wow, that's a mismatch of expectations. But yeah.
Now it's fair to say that the music is hard and heavy, got a lot of dynamics in it. One that kind of stood out a little bit different was IDK, which I don't know. There's a bit of a reggae thing going on in there.
Yeah.
And I can't refuse the glow of a darker place. The world could be better on a bad day. Oh, can you comment on my memories long gone? Nostalgia in what it used to be. I can't refuse the glow of a darker place.
We love a whole sort of swag of genres, and reggae's been a bit of a theme in our music for some time. I don't know. I've always loved it. I think it's just the emphasis on the third beat as opposed to, second or like
2 and 4.
rock is 2 and 4 exactly. So that that groove automatically changed it. I mean, living in New Zealand, bands like Fat Freddy's Drop.
Oh yes.
I mean, huge inspiration to me. I think that their first few albums, like the one, wish I could remember what it is with the octopus on the front cover, the illustration. Anyway, that one, whatever it is, I listened to that over and over again. And I think the Kiwi kind of adoption of reggae is partly, and dub is partly what kind of got me into it. And then I trace those evolution, and go to the artists that they might be listening to and hear where that comes from. And it's just fascinating stuff. So I think that probably explains why that's in there. We love Latin music.
Yeah, you got Culture War, which has kind of a salsa feel to it. So,
I
didn't see that one coming.
We just thought it'd be great to have a mariachi band kind of walk through the middle of a metal song,
Why not?
Exactly. It's fun to kind of lull people into a false sense of security, whether it's commercially wise.
Well, you got to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did the band itself work making this record? How do you guys agree to the fact that we're going to throw a reggae bit in there and you guys must come to some agreement.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to produce, like, I'm sort of like the final person in the line, and I'll often go, what about if this goes here? And most of the time, the guys are just into it, and they'll contribute and add ideas. And the last couple of albums they've been writing, with that process in mind, and they'll kind of jump, I guess, anticipate what it will be. And they're doing pre-production that has different genres. And what about this? Or we could do that. It's sort of a compositional approach, like that you can kind of use genre as a dynamic.
Well, speaking of dynamics, that was going to be my next question about the dynamics of the music. Do you think about that consciously? We need to take it back and bring it up. And is that part of how?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a lot like, I've often talked about horror movies. If it's gratuitous violence right from the beginning to the end, you
get bored.
Impact. Yeah.
Desensitized.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's why I love the characters, George Costanza's parents in Seinfeld, because it was the sudden fluctuation in volume that made, everything more interesting. So I think dynamic, definitely, it's kind of playing with that. And I guess when, like, we've been doing this for a while, I've become a bit desensitized or unaware of how it impacts or how people perceive it who aren't used to it. Like, it might be a bit more jolting and strange, but it's just kind of, I've always written music like this. And I think it's probably my classical guitar teacher playing me Yes and King Crimson and Tom Waits and Frank Zappa and all these kind of old school progressive fusion-y sort of acts.
Yep.
And then I found Mr. Bungle in the 90s, and then that was it.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool. So when the record comes out and everything else, are you gigging, or is that an option or what?
Well, we were supposed to start a tour in this month, but it got pushed back because of further lockdown. So now everything's been moved to January.
Right.
And then we're going to go to Europe and do some touring over there. You're probably, I think New Zealand's probably in a very similar position to Australia. It's probably easier to tour or to leave the country than to.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah. I have an airline ticket to go to the States, which I can go at any time. but getting back in is going to be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to have to find something to do for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And a place to be to do it at, because
are they your vinyls back there behind you?
They are my records. Yes, indeed.
Holy shit. That is a serious collection.
Well, yeah.
You should start your own streaming platform.
Well, yeah, maybe I should. And that's only half of them.
Oh my God.
Those are
impressive.
the LPs, the 45s, the 7-inches are in the other room. And there's more of those.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's good for lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a record collector?
No, I don't have a player. I do have a bunch of vinyls that I've picked up from like I went through a weird phase of collecting lounge music.
Okay.
Like, old school kind of 50s big band kind
Exotica and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I managed to find, like, there was this amazing compendium. It was like the encyclopedia of lounge music or something. And it was just amazing because I love all those old school Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And
right. Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think it's amazing how much cartoon music, like classical music and jazz and stuff, works its way into your subconscious from those early
especially
cartoons.
the Warner Brothers cartoons. What was his name? Carl Stalling was amazing with the way he used music with the. It was just
incredible.
Yep.
Probably kids don't really get that anymore. It's not really a thing that they can justify having a big orchestra, score a cartoon like they used to. But anyway, so that's my record collection's pretty limited and very nichey, and
well, that's all right. Just get a turntable.
Yes, that's the next thing. It is.
All righty. Well, very good. Maybe you can buy one with the big bucks that'll be rolling in after you.
Oh yeah, big bucks.
I know. So I'm curious, as a musician and artist, do you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because let's face it, you're not going to get rich unless something.
Nailed it. I mean, when I started this, music was a viable thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've put my life into Blockbuster or Kodak.
Kodak.
You know what I mean?
Kodak's down the toilet.
Well, that's what I mean. Exactly.
Yeah. Because I moved here from Rochester, which is the home of Kodak. So,
dude, I might be moving to Rochester.
Why?
Is that where the Mayo Clinic is?
No, that's a different Rochester.
Oh, right.
That's okay. Rochester, Minnesota. I was in Rochester, New York.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be going to the Minnesota one, but
I recommend that one over the New York.
Okay.
This is
I don't know.
Kodak was like massive in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a city within a city, had its own fire department, all that stuff. And it went bankrupt.
Well, I mean, no wonder. Like, but that, I feel like, I mean, music is, I'm watching a sci-fi show at the moment. I just mentioned it to the previous fellow that I was chatting to. And they're kind of in a dystopian world, and they're digging out these old kind of USB sticks with music on it. And it's like, they're talking about, people just don't make music, anymore.
Right.
Like, isn't that a funny idea? Imagine if people people always do it for fun, but
it just seems like, right now there seems to be more music than ever.
Yeah.
It's just
I think that's what do you do? Like, but I mean, it'd be interesting to hear your perspective as a, I mean, you're a Kiwi, you've been there for 25 years, you said, but I mean, looking at it from an American perspective as well,
you can't help
it. What the government, I just feel like we've been a bit let down in for the arts. Like, there's a lot of musicians just decimated by COVID because they rely on like, if you can't tour,
there's nothing, because let's face it, unless you're, I don't know who, Taylor Swift or somebody, you're not making money off of Spotify, that's for sure.
No.
And
well, I mean, that's another, that's a whole other, I mean, but I'll tell you one on a positive note. Deezer, the French company Deezer, and SoundCloud have changed their royalty distribution model.
Oh, good. That's it.
And now those two, they use the user-centric model. So it's like, basically people pay their subscription and the money goes to who they're listening to.
That's good. That's
which is what a lot of people think Spotify is, but it isn't.
Nope.
I just kind of hope that, maybe, I don't know, there'll be another. I think the solution is another platform.
Yeah.
Spotify could even do it. It could be another platform that's not tied to if you want legacy major label content, you buy, Spotify Plus.
Yep.
If you want the indie 99% of creator content, that's Spotify Z or whatever.
Yep.
And that would work.
All righty. I like it.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. We got that sorted. What else?
We fixed the music industry. What's next?
Exactly. Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing all that with me. It's been thrilling, and I love hearing the record. So hopefully things will go well when you release it on Friday, and maybe come around here and play some once we get it sorted out.
That'd be cool. That would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
No worries, Marty. Thanks, mate.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.